Reading the bell jar is a rite of passage for every woman. Rereading it is just self-inflicted torture, because what kind of a person in their right mind would do it to themselves? Hey everyone, I'm Shayoni, and I don't know why I decided to reread The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. I guess I was just feeling a little like disappointed with the world around me, a little disillusioned with everything around. So I decided to pick it up and have another go at it. This is my copy of The Bell Jar, of the book. I think this could have been a little more like darker, so to speak, because I think the color is too light for the contents that are inside this book, the contents that have ruined lives now of multiple women. There's this one particular part that I would like to read out to all of you. On page number 146. No matter how much you knelt and prayed, you still had to eat 3 meals a day and have a job and live in the world. I have lost count of the number of times I've written the same thing down in my journal because it felt too real and too relatable and just uncanny how the author just, how she could just get me and get what I was feeling. And of course, then there's her fig tree analogy, which I would again read out to you all. Just need to find it. It's bad enough that I don't put markers, but I think that's a practice that I'm planning to start. I saw my life branching out before me like the green fig tree in the story. From the tip of every branch, like a fat purple fig, a wonderful future beckoned and winked. One fig was a husband and a happy home and children, and another fig was a famous poet, and another fig was a brilliant professor, and another fig was EEGE. Who's EEG? I have no idea. Okay. And another fig was the amazing editor, and another fig was Europe and Africa and South America, and another fig was Constantine and Socrates and Attila and a pack of other lovers with queer names and offbeat professions, and another fig was an Olympic lady crew champion, and beyond and above these figs were many more figs I couldn't quite make out. I couldn't make up my mind which of the figs I would choose. I wanted each and every one of them, but choosing one meant losing all the rest, and as I sat there, unable to decide, the figs began to wrinkle and go black, and one by one they plopped to the ground at my feet. That's the fig tree analogy. I mean, it does talk about being overwhelmed by choices and kind of highlights the protagonist's indecisive nature and the ability to make up her mind. But it's also about fear, because what if you choose one and then it does not turn out the way you hoped it would? And how many times have you been there when we wanted everything but we could only pick one, and we picked one and it was a big disappointment? So it's got a lot to do with that fear as well. The fear of not putting ourselves out there, the fear of being disappointed. And I think in that sense, this book gives you a lot to think about. Now, coming to the premise, it's about this girl called Esther Greenwood who has won a writing contest, and she's been given an opportunity to intern with the magazine, and there are like I think 11 or 12 more girls with her who are interning with the magazine. And it kind of gives a glimpse into a very glamorous sort of life, because these girls get taken on for dinners and movies, and they get a lot of gifts from time to time. But then eventually reality also starts hitting Esther, because one day her editor asks what she's planning to do with her life, and she really doesn't know except that she wants to write and become a writer or a poet and would like an office like her editor. Esther finally goes home, and her mother tells her that the college that she'd applied to for a writing program, they rejected her and denied her admission. Her scholarship didn't come through and she didn't make it. And that's when the fear starts creeping in that she perhaps would never write again. She realizes that she has no real skills, that 15 years of straight A's hasn't helped her even a little bit. She is not an employable professional, let alone an employable writer. She did consider getting married and being a homemaker, but it kind of dawned on her that this is also not what she wants. And I'll read out this part. This seemed a dreary and wasted life for a girl with 15 years of straight A's. But I knew that's what marriage was like, because cook and clean and wash was just what Buddy Willard's mother did from morning till night, and she was the wife of a university professor and had been a private school teacher herself. So she knew that things were like really bad for her, or that's what 19-year-old Esther thought. She thought there's no way out of this. She doesn't want to be a homemaker. She has no skills to be employed as a professional. So what is she supposed to do? That fear is too real. The book definitely taps into issues of mental health and how some psychiatric institutions back then would treat mental health with like electric shocks and the stigma associated with it. So that's one aspect of the book. But the other aspect is also a critique of social institutions like marriage. Esther is scared that if she gets married, she'll be subjugated by her husband and she doesn't want to have babies. She's just really scared of the entire process of having babies, like from conceiving till giving birth, and it's so realistically portrayed. So Esther's then boyfriend, Buddy Willard, was training to be a doctor at a hospital, and she decides to go and visit him, and there she witnesses a woman giving birth, and the experience is really scary for her because this woman has been given anesthetics, but she can feel all the pain. She feels the pain of giving birth, and the drug works in a way where that once she wakes up from her stupor, she will forget that she ever felt any pain, and she'll be ready for a second child when the time comes because she's forgotten that she ever felt any pain. And Esther realizes that only a man can come up with a drug like that. So that fear is very real and realistically portrayed, and Esther realizes that this is not the kind of life that she wants. The second half of the book is just Esther getting treated for her illness in various psychiatric institutions and the kind of procedures that they follow or used to follow back then. She eventually does get better as well. She goes to a different college. But those few pages and those few sections are really haunting. It's a very, very dark place. And believe me when I say that those few sections can mess up with your head like badly.
That's my review of The Bell Jar. I would suggest you pick it up only if you're in the emotional and mental headspace for it. If you're wondering where to get your copy from, just head to Kunzum and get yourself the book at 20% off. And if you liked my review, do subscribe and drop a comment, and I'll see you soon.